So what I'll do is answer any question you bring forth, and I will answer it from a high truth perspective. So the archangels and other beings will come forth and give you the answer. And please know that when you ask a question, they're going to be giving you a very expanded answer. So it's going to be an answer that goes directly to your soul and is going to answer. It may even be a deeper question than what you imagine you're asking.
Okay, question I had, I have an aunt that passed away a couple of years ago, and I found out about it by, I just had a feeling, and I Googled her name on the Internet and found out that she'd passed away, so it'd be nice to find out what happened.
So what is your question specifically regarding your aunt?
Like what she died from, how it was, all that.
And
I don't know what she died from or anything.
And why do you want to know this?
I just do. You know, whether she died alone. Her obituary looked like she had died alone, and I felt really bad about that because I would have been there if someone had told me.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I'm getting from your aunt. Do not grieve that she left the way in which she left. She wanted to make her exit without a bunch of hoopla. She wanted to exit quietly and quickly, and she wanted to leave at that time. So she was more than ready to leave. In fact, she had been hanging on longer just to satisfy some earth people, you know, those that she loved. She was hanging on for those that she loved when the truth was she was ready actually before she did leave. So she does not want you to have a grievous heart, for she left and she is in good standing now. She says very good standing, and she likes this place where she is at. For she gets to do exactly what she wants to do. And she has lots of love around her, and she has no ailment and no pain, and it is quite exceptional here, she is saying.
Great.
So she wants you to lighten your grievous heart and know that it was on purpose the way that she left.
Okay.
Yes. Do you have any other question about her?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's possible. I was just wondering what happened, how she died.
Well, I'm not getting specifically like how she died, but what I am getting is her idea of it. So would you like to hear that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Her idea was, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, and I want to go now. Whatever it takes for me to go now is when I want to go. So on a deep level, maybe not a personality level, she wanted to go right then, and so she left. She is saying the physicalness of it is just, it is from an ego place that you're wanting to understand that. But if you can go to a deeper level, Stephanie, and feel it in your heart of the truth that she truly did want to go at that time, that it will ease any uncomfortableness that you may have about her leaving the way that she did.
Okay.
Because she truly was ready and wanted it to happen right then the way it happened. And she does not want you to stay focused on the details of it because she's saying they're so unimportant. And that is a part of your personality it's wanting to know, where she is wanting you to accept in a very heartfelt, soulful way that it was all perfectly the way, orchestrated the way she wanted.
Okay.
Okay? Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
No, I think that's good. I appreciate it.
And how are you feeling about that? Do you feel a lighter sense knowing that she was leaving the way she wanted to go, when she wanted to go?
Not so much.
And what is
no.
it? See, that's why you're really asking. So why don't we go to that question?
Oh, I just feel like she probably killed herself then. And that makes me sad.
I see.
From what you're saying, that's what I get from it, is that she took her own life.
You're misinterpreting, Stephanie.
Okay.
You're misinterpreting the meaning behind what I'm saying. And yes, you're seeing it as something wasn't right about the way in which she left, and your mind is still trying to figure it all out and make sure that she did it the right way or something was amiss. not amiss or something wasn't wrong. You see how your mind is still trying to do all of that? When the truth is, it was all perfect. Regardless of how she died, it really was imperfection.
Okay.
And it's not about how she died. It's about it was time for her to die, and she knew it. So I'm not hearing I took my life. I'm hearing I relaxed into what I needed to do.
Okay.
I'm hearing I allowed myself to go to the place where I am now at. It was an allowing of her that it happened.
Okay, that sounds better.
Yeah, it was an allowing. It wasn't a taking.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I think that's good. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. If you'll please
Appreciate
star 6 now so the
Okay.
next person can come forward.
Okay.
Who would like to ask the next question? Just star 6 to unmute yourself.
This is Blair. Can you hear me?
Hi, Blair.
Gloria?
Yes?
My name is Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hello. And I have a question about someone that's passed over also. My husband died about 10 years ago now, and I've had a great deal of difficulty moving on.
Yes. His love did not, what I'm hearing is to tell you, Sue, that his love did not leave you. In fact, he watches you in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
He watches you in your kitchen. Do you like to cook?
I love to cook.
Well,
he always watched me in the kitchen when he was alive.
Okay. Well, he's saying he watches you in the kitchen, and he still gets a kick out of watching you in the kitchen, and he does it pretty much every day. And he wants you to know that while you're cooking, you can have a conversation with him if you like, because he gets quite a kick out of watching you. It's a part of his ritual of what he loves to do is watch you in the kitchen. So just have a conversation with him, and if when you have the conversation with him, Sue, if you'll just kind of step back and take a deep breath and just be calm about it and enjoy this conversation, and if you will, if you can calm yourself by taking a breath, if you want to ask him a question, just take a breath and say, I'm listening to your answer, and just be calm in it and allow him, because he is wanting to talk with you, and he says if you will just allow it, you will probably begin hearing him now that you're aware that he's actually in the kitchen with you. He hasn't left you. His love is still very, very much with you, but he wants you to get on with things. He says that you have a tendency to not get on with things, and it's time for you to get on with things. And the getting on with things that he is speaking of, it's things in your heart that you really want to do. Is there something you've been really wanting to do that you're not allowing yourself to do?
Oh, the list is long.
The list is long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm hearing him say, pick the one at the top and start.
Okay.
And he says he has your back.
Okay.
So he's with you, whatever you choose. He wants you to know that don't worry about what he would think about it. You're just to listen to yourself. You're to follow your heart, and you're to move forward with it because he's got your back. He watches out for you. He loves you, and he will continue to watch you cook forevermore. So he wants you to please start conversing with him while you're cooking, and then stop and just take a deep breath and listen to what he has to tell you. And he's doing mighty fine, he says, mighty fine. So don't you worry about him because he's mighty fine. He just wants to know that you are. So the way that he says you will be mighty fine is to tackle that list one by one and begin doing that which you really want.
Okay.
And he'll agree with whatever you want to do. There's nothing you can do that will dissatisfy him as long as it's what you really want.
Okay. It's all good then.
Yeah, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other question for him, Sue, or about him?
No, I think that's good. He just left very suddenly, and he was killed in a car accident.
He's saying he's sorry about he left so suddenly. It was his time to leave, and he wants you to know that. But he does apologize because he says it was such a shock for you.
Yeah.
And that you were devastated beyond belief.
Yeah.
And he's saying that he is sorry it happened the way it did happen, although it was his time to go, and he's very content where he's at, and he wants you to be content as well.
Okay.
But he does apologize that you had to endure so much from his sudden leaving.
I had, actually hoped that it had been me instead. My greatest anguish over the whole thing that it was not me instead.
That you didn't die and that he did?
Right. I just felt like it should have been me instead of him. But obviously not, because it was.
He's saying absolutely not. In fact, he's kind of crossing his arms now and spreading his legs, and he's shaking his head a very strong no and saying absolutely not. You're meant to keep on cooking.
Okay.
Not that you cook. He's saying not that you couldn't cook on the other side because you pretty much have full reign over here, he's saying. But he wants you to know that you're to cook on earth, and you have more things to cook up, he says, besides food.
Yeah, I do.
And he's saying it was not your time. You are not to wish to go before it's your time to go. Yeah. It was not your time. So he says cook, but cook up more than food. Cook up the things in your heart. Live your life the way you want to live your life. Yeah. And he's all for you. But please, he does not want you to think one more time it should have been you. Okay. It is so far from the truth that it should have been you. It was his time. And he does not regret it, but he does apologize that it was hard on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have anything else you'd like to ask about him or say to him? For he hears what you say to me.
I'm just sorry I've made such a mess of things.
Oh, no need for apologies. Now he's like putting his arms to his side. He's coming forward toward me, which means toward you. Okay? And he's saying no need for apologies. No need, no need, no need. He wants you to just listen to your heart, live your life, and cook all that you have in your heart you want to cook.
Okay.
He has no regrets about being with you. He has nothing he harbors against you. He has only love in his heart for you. Okay. And he's saying it's okay. All that you've done is okay. He knows who you are, and he loves you deeply for who you are. So do not be concerned about any mistakes that you have made, for they are just that, mistakes. And you have an opportunity now to make your life the way you want. He's saying now is the time. Okay. Not next year, not later, but this, I think he's saying red hot minute.
Okay. All right,
yeah.
then.
He's saying now is the time for you to create your life the way you want. And do not be concerned about what mistakes you've made, but just move forward in life knowing there's nothing to be forgiven. There's just a learning and a moving forward.
Okay.
He says, keep on cooking, honey. Okay. Keep on cooking.
Okay. Thank you, Gloria.
Oh, you're so welcome. Bless you.
So, Gloria, the next person that had kind of stepped forward, I think, was Blair.
Okay.
They both kind of came on at the same time. I don't know if they were there.
Hello?
Blair?
Hi.
Hi, Blair.
Hi. What amazing work you do. My goodness, that last one kind of blew me away a little bit.
You're just
this is
feeling
lovely work.
Oh, you're welcome, dear.
I am not sure who. I think I want to address my dad, but he passed on about 6 years ago, but I'm not sure who. I would like to be spoken to from whomever steps forward. And I just am very frustrated. and feeling very stuck. For many years, I have wanted to move forward in my work, in my writing and teaching, and I just feel like I'm sort of circling the drain, and I just would like some direction or assistance or support or something.
Okay. I'm seeing a man. Did you call him Dad?
Yes.
Or Father?
Dad.
You called him Dad? Because I'm hearing Dad, but I am her father. So he's saying I am your father with a great sense of authority, but apparently you called him Dad then. Okay. So Blair, he wants you. I want you to, and he's saying, tell her. He wants you to take a deep breath so that you can hear this. Can you do that, please? Just taking a nice, long, deep breath. Calm yourself a little. Taking another one. Okay. Now he says he'll talk. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
First of all, he said, you need to dig your head out of the sand. Now, he's saying this with lots of love. Why do you suppose he's telling you to dig your head out of the sand?
I suppose because it's in the sand. I don't. That would be my first guess.
He says it's time for you to dig your head out of the sand. It's time for you to stop believing that you're not who you are. So in other words, he's showing me his hands. So you know how when somebody shows you their index finger and their thumb and they're showing you a little, like they're making a sign a little bit? He's saying you think you're little. He's showing me with his hands that you think you're little, and then he's got both his hands and he spreads his arms real wide apart when the truth is you're quite big. And it's this thinking you're little that started when you were actually a little girl, he's saying. Mm-hmm. And he wants to apologize because he feels that he did something that made you feel like you were little instead of big. And he's sorry that he made you feel little instead of big because he's saying the truth is you're not little, and he keeps showing me with his hands, you're big. So what you'll want to do is go back and start healing that feeling of being little so that you can experience the bigness of who you are. And he's very much apologizing for anything and everything that he has done that made you feel little instead of big. And he said this is really the core of the problem of what's going on with you, this feeling of being little. Okay. So have you noticed, Blair, how you want to do a lot of things, but you keep feeling like it's a little instead of a lot?
I'm sorry, that the things that I'm doing is just a little?
Well,
That's
do you
what you're
notice
asking
how
me?
you'll do things and you'll think, what's a little bit here and a little bit there, but it never feels like you get to do a lot?
Uh-huh.
And that's that feeling, just coming back to you from your belief that you're little. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's the world just mirroring it back to you, because he's showing me a big mirror now. And he's saying, it's time to mirror back the bigness. So he's showing me a mirror. You know those mirrors? Boy, they're so clever. You know those mirrors in the carnival that they make you look all big? He's saying, you need one of those mirrors.
That's a great idea. Okay.
So what he wants you to do is stand in front of your mirror and pretend you're in one of those carnival mirrors, and you get really big, and know that when you get really big, it's about the bigness of who you really are on the inside of yourself and what you really have to give, because he says the world needs my daughter. The world needs my daughter. And he wants to say it again. So I'm going to say it with the tone that I'm hearing it, all right? The world needs my daughter. That's how he's saying it. And he's got his arm, and I'm trying to show you what he's doing, and you can't see me. He's got his arm, and he's pointing his finger out, and his arm's going up and down as he's saying, the world needs my daughter. And he wants you to know that he knows who you are now more than he ever knew who you were when you were on earth. And he's so sorry. He's so sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. He could not say it. If he were to say it to you 100 times, Blair, he's saying it wouldn't be enough for you to know how very sorry he is that he didn't really know who you were while he was on earth. But he sure knows now. And he wants to tell you that he knows how big you are and how much the world needs who you are. Okay, why don't you take that in a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Just breathe it in. Breathe in. My dad knows who I am. Think my dad knows who I am, and breathe that feeling, that truth, deeply into your heart and down into your belly. My dad knows who I am. Breathe it in deeply. And Blair, if I were you, my dear, I would start breathing that in deeply every day. My dad knows who I am, and he is sorry that he didn't know who I was when he was here on earth. He says if you can begin feeling that he knows who you are and he understands all the gifts he's saying that you have to give and the gift of who you are. My dad knows I'm a gift. He says you can say that one too. I think he wants to give me a whole bunch of sentences for you.
I'm sure.
But he says we better stick with just a few. So my dad knows who I am. My dad knows the gift of who I am is even more appropriate, he says. My dad knows the gift of who I am. So you want to start breathing that in every day, Blair. My dad knows the gift of who I am. Can you feel that by breathing that in, that you can know that your dad knows? Because see, this feeling of being little started with your dad not knowing that you were big, you see.
Yeah.
You understand?
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah. And can you feel the difference it will make by breathing in every day? My dad knows the gift of who I am.
Yeah,
and by looking in a mirror and pretending it's a carnival mirror and seeing yourself big and knowing this is the bigness that you have to offer to the world. Oh, he's showing me those fingers again, you know, the index finger and the thumb showing me a little bit. He says, so far, what you've given has been great gifts, but it's just a little bit compared to what you will give and what you have to give inside of you. And he's too funny. He's showing me a bullet, and he's got it between his teeth. He's biting at the bullet. He's biting at the bullet for you to get this. Is that an expression he liked to use or something? Because he really likes this expression. He's biting at the bullet.
My dad had a very warped sense of humor, and he liked to use it a lot. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Right.
Well, he's biting at the bullet for you to get this.
All right. Well, I know my dad, and I know that my dad could keep us going for hours, so I will not, I'm good. And I really appreciate you providing this opportunity for me because I really, really needed it, and I'm really grateful to my dad.
Oh, he hears you, and he's wanting to say, I love you. He is saying, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And he's saying to the moon and back, but he's showing me the moon. And it's like he's got a stirrup, and he's going to pull the moon to him, and then he's going to let it go, and it goes back and forth, like he pulls it and he lets it go to the moon and back, to the moon and back. I love you, I love you, I love you. And he wants you to please forgive him. Before you leave, he just wants to be clear. If you could please forgive him for not knowing who you were and who you are, and he wants you to understand he now knows.
I forgive him. I forgive me, too.
Okay.
Bless
you, Blair.
Thank you so much, Gloria.
You are so, so welcome. Bless you, dear. Who would like to go next?
Hello.
Yes?
Oh, hello, Gloria. This is Helene.
Hi, Helene.
Hi. Oh, well, talking about fathers who have passed over, that was on my mind as well. And I feel like my father has been I feel really connected emotionally and energetically to my father, even though he's been gone since 1976, so it's a long time. But I want to know, I feel like there's some things, I mean, he is offering me a lot of gifts in terms of things that have happened in my life that are amazing. But I feel like I'd like to know how consciously I might connect with him a little more readily, or if, it's just sort of meant to be this subtle. Not that the things that have happened are subtle, but the connection.
Okay. Well, he's moving his hands in all kinds of different ways. Like, I'm getting a sense what he's saying is you're making it way too complicated.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And you have a tendency to do this, he's saying, that you have
Right.
a tendency to complicate things when in reality, if you wouldn't make things so complicated, he really wants you to get this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's really wanting you to get this because he's saying that if you understand this one issue that you have, but he's calling it this one thing you do is kind of what he's saying, that your life can change overnight, he says. So this one thing that you do is have a tendency to complicate things.
By overthinking?
By overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
Overthinking, overanalyzing, overquestioning. It's overthinking, but it's like you question, you analyze, you turn it upside down and all around, he's saying. And
well, I probably overprocess is really what it is, yeah.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Yes. Uh-huh. He's showing me like a square box, and he's turning it upside down, he's turning it around, he's taking the lid off, he's looking in it, he's looking under it, he's moving it up above, he's moving it below, and he says, this is what you do.
Wow, I didn't realize it was quite that much.
He's saying, set the box down, know it's a box, and move on.
Right, okay.
So in order to be with him, he's saying just talk to him. Because if you'll just talk to him and have a conversation with him. And he's saying that people forget on earth how much we hear them. Like they think we don't hear them, but we hear them. And so when you talk to them, they hear you. And he said he's not the only one. He says and now they're showing me a whole room of people that apparently are deceased because they don't look like us. They all hear us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they always hear us. So he says just talk to him. And by talking to him, like I told Sue, I believe it was, to take a deep breath, and you'll be able to hear him. But you have to quiet yourself enough and he's saying you have to know that the box is a box and not overthink it in order to hear him. You'll have to trust in what your first inclination is. He's saying that's how you quit overthinking. You trust in your first inclination.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When you can trust in your first inclination, then you won't have to overthink, overprocess, overanalyze, turn that box upside down and all around, and the box can be a box, and you can get on with the act of living your life, he says. So in order to have a deeper relationship with him, you have conversation with him. And then you can just sit down, take in some deep breaths, relax yourself, and say, I'm open to hearing you, and trust what you hear.
Mm-hmm.
And if your mind comes forth, give your mind something to do for a moment, like a math problem or something such as that. So your analytical mind can be busy for a moment. Or say a funny rhyme or sing a song for a moment. And if you'll keep relaxing your body while giving your analytical mind something to do, you'll be able to hear him.
Okay.
You understand? It's a relaxing
totally.
of your body while you give your analytical mind something to do, and then he'll seep through that, his words to you. Mm-hmm. So he really wants you to understand that it's time now for you to know a box is a box, and no need to overprocess, overanalyze anything. Trust what you hear, trust what you know, trust your first inclination. And in that trusting, your life will start unfolding more rapidly. Things that you want or you desire, things will just start happening for you. It will feel as if by magic or like a miracle. But
well, that's kind of what happens now, so I'm kind of freaked to think what more. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
You have more. You
wow.
do, Helene. You have more in store for you. And when you allow your mind to not overanalyze, overprocess, then things will move even more rapidly, because he's saying that you came to be a manifester.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so the way that you can be the manifester in the utmost sense of the word of what you've committed to before you even came here is to allow your analytical mind to rest, you see.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So he's very happy to talk with you, to listen to you, to have conversations with you. He's very proud of you. He's very, very proud of you.
That's
He
sweet.
just wants you to. He keeps showing me that box. Just tell her, lay that box down. The box is a box.
Well, tell him I was trained by the master, so it's kind of, I'm trying, but.
He's winking when you say that.
Yeah.
So he's aware of that.
Yeah.
And now that he's aware that he trained you, and what he's saying is, please untrain.
Yeah.
Please untrain now, for he knows that you have within you the power to untrain. He knows you have it. He knows that you can do it. And now that you're aware, you can let the box be a box and move forward and be that manifester in the fullness that you're meant to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you feel complete with that answer?
Yeah, actually, I get it. I really get it.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Bless you. Who would like to go next?
Hi, this is Connie.
Hi, Connie.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to get some input on how I can open up my heart more. I feel like I was more in touch with higher aspects of myself than I have been for some years, and I would like to open back up.
So you feel like you were opened, but now you're not as opened? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question, and will you, if you're comfortable, answer it, but if not, answer it within yourself, okay?
Okay.
What is it you have been avoiding?
I guess I've been avoiding those higher aspects of myself because there was so much that happened so quickly that I didn't know how to integrate it, and I didn't know how to actually actualize it into this life.
Yes. Okay. It feels like what is going on, Connie, at a deeper level is a trust that you'll be okay and that life will work in the manner in which you would want for it to work, that there's a lack of trust that it can all work out beautifully by you connecting. You understand? So
Yes.
it's this feeling of not being able to trust. And the trust actually occurred when you were quite young, this feeling of learning not to trust yourself. And so there's other areas, what I'm getting is there's other areas in your life where you haven't fully allowed yourself to trust who you are. And one area is connecting with all that is, if you will. So it really comes down to trust, you see.
Okay.
Yes, so let me feel that a moment where you can start with that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Well, I see you as a little girl, Connie, so this is probably the kind of work that you'll want to start with, is seeing
Mhm.
yourself as a little girl. And what I'm getting is for you to relax deeply by taking in those deep heart breaths and expanding your belly and going deep within. And I see you as a little girl, imagining yourself as a little girl and see her sitting or residing within your heart region, and allow whatever age comes up. So you want to experience that little girl sitting within your heart region, okay?
Okay. Yes.
And what you're going to do is you relax your body and you breathe in deeply. You can say something, what age within me wants to come up to experience trust, okay? What age
Okay.
within me wants to come up to experience or learn to experience trust, trust of self, and it's trust of the world. You see, it's from within you and it goes outside of you, inside to outside. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
So after you bring up that age, of when you were a little girl, whatever age that may be, notice how she feels. If you can, see what she looks like, and breathe deeply into your heart as she resides within your heart. And then you'll want to create some protection for you and for her, so you can tell her that she's very protected, and that you can imagine that you're putting a color around the two of you. If you like, a color of protection. You can think of it as love and protection. You can see yourselves in nature, in a sacred haven, if that would work for you. But you want to set it up that you feel very protected and she feels very protected. If it's with a color, like enveloping yourself in a balloon of safety, or if it's seeing yourself, envisioning yourself in nature, whatever way works for you, Connie. Are you with me thus far?
I am. Yes.
So after you've called her forth, you've made sure you both feel very protected, you've asked for the age, she's residing within your heart, then you ask her what she needs to feel protected. And maybe she needs to have a conversation with you. Maybe she needs to know that God trusts her, that the Creator trusts her. Listen to what she tells you that she needs to begin trusting herself. And then, after she tells you, you're to give her what she needs. You understand?
Yes.
And if I were you, I would begin doing this visualization regularly so you can build on that trust. And as you build on the trust of yourself as a little girl, you'll begin feeling and allow yourself each time you sit down what age needs to come up. And you'll go from a little girl, and I see you going into your teenage years, because it feels like there were some things that happened to you when you were a teenager that gave you the feeling that you couldn't trust yourself. And so you just allow yourself to go through whatever ages come up, but only one age per sitting or one time of doing this exercise. And continue building on that trust. So let's say, for example, she says, I need to know that God trusts me. Then you can breathe in the love of God, and you can create an affirmation and hear God saying, I trust you, Connie, I trust you. So you can trust yourself enough, Connie, to know that when she tells you what she needs, that you can bring it forth. Make certain that you're in the safety. Make certain that you feel completely relaxed. And as long as you're in the safety and you feel you're in the safety, she feels you're in the safety, then you'll feel that you can trust what she hears and you can abide.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the beginning of building on your relationship with opening your heart completely. Your heart is not going to open, my dear, until you can fully trust you. And it has
Okay.
to do with trusting God as well. But first, you want to trust you and see what comes forth from that. And you may want to have some private sessions with me to continue to work on this. I'll leave that up
Okay.
to you. But this, just know that this is a work in progress. And be very gentle with yourself. If you start crying, allow yourself to cry and breathe in deeply. And maybe that's all you do that time. So just be very gentle, take it slowly, and I would suggest you do this meditation a couple of times a week.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Connie. Bless you, dear.
Okay. Bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Gloria. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi. My name is Barbara, and I hadn't even thought to ask something like this tonight. I really didn't know what tonight was going to be, but you seem so connected, and so I would ask you, Gloria. My mother died many years ago in 1960. I was 16.
Okay.
And she left no note. I mean, there was nothing that she ever said to me or left for me to say, gee, I'm sorry. And it was a long illness. So,
Okay.
and I've talked to Nikki about this, and I've moved on. Obviously, I'm no spring chicken here, but I've always wondered if there's anything specifically that she would say about why she never addressed her leaving me. Because I assume she really had to know. She was ill for 4 years.
And okay. Let me feel this a moment. I'm seeing a woman with gray hair. Would that be your mother?
Well, when my mother died, she was a young woman. When she passed,
okay.
she was only maybe about 38, 39 years old.
Well, do you have I think a grandmother has stepped forth on behalf of your mother?
Well, that could be.
Yeah, and okay, now I think it's your mother because I'm seeing they're over here by my bench. I wish you could see, but there's a gray-haired lady sitting on the bench, and now there's another woman behind her. But I think for some reason your mother is wanting the grandmother to speak on her behalf. Is that okay with you?
Yes, certainly.
It feels like your mother is feeling a little bit sad about not addressing her illness to you, and she wishes that she would have. So she's wanting, it's almost as if she feels like the grandmother can speak to you more clearly about it, or maybe she feels that you can hear it more clearly. I'm not certain which, Barbara, okay? So let's just hear what she has to say. Will that work for you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Your mother was in a state of denial. She, on the one hand, she knew that she would be leaving because she continued to get more and more sick. She noticed that she wasn't getting well, but to tell you out loud would be saying that she was definitely going to be leaving. And so she kept this denial going in order to pretend that she was going to stay around. But she did not mean to hurt you with it. She did not mean to hurt anyone with it. It was just her own way of feeling as if she were going to continue to live. But she's stressing that she really didn't mean to hurt you or anyone by being in that state of denial. And it was her own fear of death that kept her in the state of denial. But had she known how wonderful it would be, she would not have been afraid of it. But she saw death as an enemy, and something to fear. And because she saw death as an enemy and something to fear, she did not want to face it. So she could not face it inside of herself, Barbara, enough to talk about it with anyone, because she didn't talk about it inside of herself. Do you understand?
Yes. Yeah.
And she is sorry. I'm seeing her saying she is sorry, but she's whispering it to the grandmother for some reason. But she's saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But it really was her fear of death and believing that death was like the biggest enemy of all time that kept her from speaking of it. But she really is sorry, Barbara. She didn't mean to hurt you. It was just her own fear that kept her. She's showing me like she's got her fingers on her lips, and she's clamping her lips shut, and she's saying that she kept the clamp on her lips out of her fear. It had nothing to do with her love for you or wanting to hurt you or anyone. Please know that. And she hopes that you can understand that it was her fear, so that you can know that she didn't mean to hurt you, because she really, really wants you to know she never meant to hurt you. By not talking about it, she never meant to hurt you. She's very emphatic about that, about not meaning to hurt you. And she's just shaking her head like, please no, please no. You know, I see her, please know that I never meant to hurt you. It was my fear, my fear. And she's touching her heart now, like taking her hand, like, listen to this a moment. Hear that? She's doing that against her heart. Like, my fear, my fear, my fear. Like she's owning it completely, that it was her fear. And she's sorry that she allowed her fear to override her love. And she wishes she could have allowed the love to be bigger than her fear of death, so that she could have talked with you. But that's the reason. It was her fear of death, seeing it as the biggest enemy, that she couldn't look it straight in the face. And she's showing me a monster face now, Barbara, that she saw it like that. Like by speaking of it, it wouldn't be like looking at a monster. That's how very afraid she was of death. It seemed like a monster to her. So if she were to try to talk to you, it would be she would have to face the monster, you see. And she said she just wishes she would have known. She would have known, she would have known. She's talking about that because she says it's actually quite lovely over here. And she didn't know how lovely a place could be until she came there. And if she would have known, and now she's showing me, it feels like a face of, I don't know if it's Jesus or it's some religious face, is what I can tell you. If she would have known it would have been like that instead of the monster, she would have been able to talk to you. But she didn't see this face, and it's a beautiful, loving, kind face. She saw the monster face, and the monster face kept her from sharing with you.
I understand.
And she is so very, very sorry. Can you accept her apology? She wants to know?
Absolutely. I've always assumed that, actually.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what Nikki said. So I just wondered, but I've never had anybody communicate with her directly. So
well, she's here, and she tells me that she watches over you a lot when you sleep. I'm not sure why, but it comforts her after you get in bed. She actually pulls covers up, although you may not feel it. To her, she's pulling the covers up and tucking you in bed because she feels like she didn't get to do that in the life when she was alive. She was sick and didn't get to take care of you the way she would have wanted to take care of you. So it's very comforting for her to tuck you in bed at night. She doesn't care how old you are. You're still her baby. And you will always be her baby. So she tucks you in bed every night before you go to sleep. That's how big she loves you, you see. And she will tuck you in bed until you meet her there, where she's at, in the lovely, lovely place. It doesn't get any lovelier, she's saying.
Okay. Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
Bless you, dear.
So Gloria, are you, do you feel kind of complete for the evening, or how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a couple minutes till 4. Shall we conclude or have one more? Whatever you think, Nikki.
It's up to you.
Well, how about we go one more, and then we'll conclude, if that's okay with everyone.
Perfect.
Okay. Whoever would like to go next.
Gloria, it's Adana.
Hi, Adana.
How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to hear your voice.
Oh, it's great to hear your voice. So much love for you.
Aww.
Well, the other night I had a dream, and in my dream, my Steve's mother came to me. She's still living, but I feel like she's asking me to help her transition.
And you're okay, and you're wanting to know if that's the truth?
Yes, I am.
What she's wanting from you, what I'm getting that she's really wanting from you is to share love. So it may look like you help her with transition. It may look like, however it looks, what she really wants from you on the deepest level, Adana, is to share love with you.
Okay.
So it feels like by sharing love with you, what she's wanting you to do is to show up physically in her presence.
Okay.
So she's wanting you to show up, and she's wanting to share love with you, and she wants to, what I'm getting, she loves you. That she
does.
really
she
does love you deeply, and she misses you terribly, and she loves hanging out with you. She says, I can hear her thoughts. She's saying she's one of a kind. She's one of a kind.
That sounds like her.
She very much just wants to be with you. She wants to share love with you. She wants to hang out with you. She wants to hang out with her one of a kind forever daughter-in-law.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
however that looks, Adana, that's what it's really about, dear. It's about just sharing and being with her, being present with her, showing up for her.
Okay.
But she wants your physical presence. You understand?
Right. Yes, I will make sure I visit her then.
Yeah, please do, because it will fill her cup.
Okay.
I'm seeing a cup, and I'm seeing it run over, and she's just gleeful about it.
I can feel that.
Yeah, very gleeful. Yeah. Do you have any other question, Adana?
Well, someone else wants me to ask about a partnership or a relationship coming forward for me.
For you?
Yes.
Someone's wanting, I'm not clear about it.
Well, I would like to have a relationship, and then one of my friends texted me and said I should definitely ask you about that.
Do you want to ask me about that?
I would like to know, but I'm probably afraid to know.
You're afraid to know?
Well, I'm not really afraid. I just, I don't know how to put it. It's something I want in my life. I would like it to show up, but it's been so long that, I don't know.
Okay. So let me feel that a moment, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, because I needed to make sure it was something you wanted and not something someone was coaxing you to ask. You understand?
I do.
Yeah, it's important that you want it, Adana, no matter what anyone else thinks that you should want.
Okay.
Okay. It feels like you're afraid that if a relationship shows up, that it's going to not work out. That you're actually so afraid of the failure of a relationship that you're not allowing a relationship to come forward.
Mm.
And you're basing it on your past experience with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can begin seeing yourself or feeling yourself, seeing yourself, experiencing yourself in a successful relationship and feeling the outcome of it being successful, then you'll be able to allow a relationship to come forth. I have been seeing you in a relationship for a long time, Adana.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just time now for you to allow it. And the way to allow it is to calm your nervous system down from the fear of it being a failure, not working out, not having the outcome with it the way you want it to be. So if I were you, I would conjure up a picture in my mind and meditate upon it in a deep, relaxed state and experience a relationship working out beautifully, perfectly, exactly the way you would want it to, and experience it again and again and again until that feeling overrides that feeling of it being a failure or not working out. So if you can allow yourself to experience it and re-experience it again and again, after a while, you'll begin believing that you will have a successful relationship. And when you begin experiencing it and feeling it and believing it, he will come forth.
Okay,
and
thank
you
you.
will have a wonderful relationship. It's pretty simple. Don't make it too complicated.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Much love to you, dear.
So much love to you, too. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so, well, Gloria, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. It just sounds like a lot of really deep kind of came through. So I appreciate, your presence tonight and all the different things that you work with, and everybody else that was out there, all the people from beyond. So any closing notes on your part? I will send out all Gloria's contact information, and if people want to do private sessions and all that, when I send out the recording, probably tomorrow morning. So any closing from you, Gloria?
Well, I just like to say thank you all so much that every time I do this, I feel a tremendous amount of love, and it's such a blessing to share in this way. So it's an honor to speak with all of you. And those I didn't speak with, thank you for being on the call. And bless you all. Thank you.